Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you and welcome. Can you do a roll call for us, Kathy?
Present.
Present.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Right on. I see Mitzi's here to open us up.
Let's pray. God, we come tonight with thanks for all you do for us here in Lockport, for a great place to live, work, and play, to raise our families and enjoy our retirements. And we thank you for our governing bodies and all the men and women who sacrifice their time to keep Lockport the wonderful place it is. Please bless them with wisdom, insight, and understanding, and help them find their common ground in all the issues they look at tonight. Please bless their homes and families and continue to favor us with your presence. Amen.
Thank you, Mitzi. All right, friends. Susie, you want to start us off with liaison reports?
Yes, I just have one for special events. On February 23rd through March 8th, we will be hosting Restaurant Week for the restaurants in Lockport. Any participating restaurant will be they'll be having deals, and they will be listed on the city website. We will be having an online map of what those specials are and the local restaurants very soon. It will be coming shortly. That's it.
Right on.
Our police department received the Taser 10 less lethal energy weapons during the first week of January. We utilized our Axon certified Taser 10 instructor, Lockport police officer Jeff Sanfilippo, and the department conducted in-house training to certify all Lockport police officers for the deployment of this new device. Training was held at the police department on January 13th, 14th, and 15th. It consisted of 6 hours of instruction per officer. The curriculum included classroom instruction, live fire exercises, and scenario-based training to ensure proficiency and safe deployment. The primary objective of implementing the Taser 10 is to enhance the effectiveness of less lethal force options, providing officers with greater time and distance to safely de-escalate volatile situations. The increased range and capabilities of this new Taser are intended to reduce the risk of injury to both officers and subjects, therefore improving overall safety during critical encounters.
Very good. Thank you, John. What else you got? Oh, I didn't want to skip Robin. Last time she surprised me. Okay, there you go.
Tonight we'll be looking to award the 2026 roadway reconstruction. So because of that, Brian has asked that I provide a brief update on 5 key projects that will be coming up to us in the future. The first one is the Heritage Village Playground. The bid opening was held today. Staff is reviewing submissions, and a recommendation for award will be presented at the next City Council meeting. The playground will be located just south of Heritage Village and will include features such as a zip line, log scrambles, play barrels, and a canal boat. Next project is the downtown streetscape capping stone installation. Staff is working with Christopher Burke Engineering on a design-build proposal to install 4-inch stone caps on all existing landscape beds throughout downtown. The current railings along State Street and 9th have deteriorated due to salt exposure, and city crews will begin removing them for the next few weeks as weather and scheduling allow. A contractor will begin installing the new stone caps in April, with the project scheduled for completion by the end of June. A recommendation for award will be presented at the next City Council meeting. Next project, Well 6 and Well 13 filter treatment plants rehabilitation. The project is currently out to bid and includes full rehabilitation of both treatment plants, which includes full media replacement, upgrades to control systems, blowers, valves, piping, electrical, SCADA, HVAC, and chlorine booster pumps. Bids are due February 18th, with a recommendation for award is planned on the March 4th City Council meeting. I&M Canal outfall improvements. The project will be advertised later this month and brought to City Council for award in March. It includes rehabilitating 12 storm sewer outfalls into the I&M Canal to reduce erosion and improve drainage, along with new storm inlets at Davies and 10th and Canal and 8th to improve pavement drainage. And finally, the Division Street Wastewater Treatment Plant Expansion Project. The project will be advertised on February 13th with a bid opening scheduled for March 30th. The design consultant, Baxter & Woodman, has prepared a video illustrating the construction phasing for this project.
Well, thank you, guys. Yeah, that's definitely a lot of work, so. Was that everything, JR?
That's all I have.
Well, that was a lot, so thank you for going through all that. All right, next up on the agenda is, Darren, you got anything?
Just let everyone know that our Lockport boys bowling came in second in the state tournament this last Saturday, so I'll contact the high school. Maybe we have them there in 2 weeks.
That's great. Very good, thank you. And then, Joanne, what do we got? We have our beautification winners? All right. Of course, my pleasure.
This year, we have some honorable recognitions, and then our top three winners, the first, second, and third, will be getting signs and certificates, okay?
Thank you, everyone, for being here and to help us with this recognition of your home that you took time to decorate for the season. We do have some honorable mentions. They took the time to decorate and send us pictures. They will get a certificate, and the first, second, and third placement winners will be getting some certificates as a thank you from the city of Lockport, okay? So the first one that we have, I think they're working on, we're going from bottom to top, gentlemen. Is that how you have it there? Oh, do we have the pictures of the other ones first and then the video? Is the Miller residence here? Hi. Well, we want to, please come up, and thank you very much for decorating your home. Here's, no, this is, okay, that's not the third place winner, but the Miller residence, you did take the time,
Yes.
to decorate, and we thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
sorry, maybe
participating.
out of sync with our slides a little bit,
Yeah,
but.
just a little, yeah.
So where do you live? What address?
1044 Milne Drive.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming out, and congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much, appreciate it, thank you.
Certificate, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa's not here. Oh, here's Lisa with her
There's
camera.
Lisa, okay,
We
very
gotta
good.
wait for Lisa and her magic camera.
Yeah. Here, why don't you stand right there in front? Yes, thank you for participating. Okay, and then the, okay, let's do, we're going to have to do it on paper here.
All right, next is the Nolan residence. You got
Yes.
that one, Brad?
Is the Nolans here? Hi. Okay, well, thank you very much for participating and sending in your pictures.
Yeah, as always, you guys are always like that.
Thank you. Okay, and then the next honorable mention is the Jelinek. Sorry. Jelinek. Thank you so much for participating. We appreciate you decorating and sending us your pictures. Thank you so much. Please. Congratulations.
How long does it take you to put it all up? Yeah, all by yourself, or you get help? A little bit of help. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay. The Nolan family?
No, 615 South State.
Oh, okay, they're not here. Okay. That was for the holiday lights. And, okay, so now, here we go. Here's our first, second, and third place winners of this year. The first third place winner is the Zerka residence. Natalie there you go. Okay, on Sunset, they're not here? Oh, man. Well, we're sorry that they're not here to be recognized in person, but we thank you for submitting your decorations, and we'll get this over to you. They were our third place winners. And then our second place winners were the Miller residents. Are they here? That's you. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Get up here and get that gift card.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know where the computer is.
Yes, I love it. All right, Lisa, now we get it.
And our big top winner tonight for first place is the Bilquist family. Are they here? Oh, yay! There they are. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Yes, please. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Great head of curly hair, man.
So this one is very special. They sent in a video. We wanted to be able to get the image of what it's all about. And, they spent so much time in the participating. Thank you. Look at that. And I go, very well deserved first place. Yeah, that's nice. Takes a lot of work. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. And we'll get these certificates. Okay.
But are they your neighbor with the lights? Are you like, turn that off, I'm trying to sleep? Yeah. Oh, very cool. All right, my friends. Well, thanks again, Joanne, as always, for hosting that. All right, so we're going to jump on down to consent agenda. All right, so tonight we're looking for a motion to have a consent agenda. Anyone?
I need to ask that we have item FN2 removed from the consent agenda. I spoke to the city attorney about this. Mike, am I making a motion? Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we move.
You just say your,
Yeah, just ask them
Yeah,
to be removed.
the
Oh, yeah,
reason
removing it
is
out.
because there is an item in there with a check being written to the Chamber of Commerce, and we are still in the process of having me replaced as treasurer. So for the moment, I should recuse myself from that one, and that way I can vote on the rest of the consent agenda separately.
all right, we'll do, we'll pull it off. All right, so looking for a motion then for the rest of that consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we got Steve and JR, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're looking tonight to approve our regular city council meeting minutes from the 21st of January, committee of the whole meeting minutes from January 7th, also some committee of the whole meeting minutes from January 21st, ordinance number 26003, which is vacating some of 3rd Street to the adjacent property owners. There's resolution 26009, which is for the purchase of the loader for the street department. And then there's a payroll period ending January 18th. So for those items, we're looking for approval. All right, Joanne
I'll say.
and Susie King. All right, can we do a roll call, please?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Bergbauer is absent. Duskin.
Yes.
Bertelson.
Yes?
Cardamone.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, looking for a motion to approve those bills through January 27th.
I'll make the motion.
All right, JR. second by Joanne. And can we do a roll call, please?
You got it. Excuse me, King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Aye.
Liff,
I recuse myself.
abstain, okay, Galogly,
Yes.
Bergbauer is absent, Deskin.
Yes.
Bertelson,
Here?
Cardam-
Yes?
Cardamone.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. All right, next we're looking for a motion for approval on Resolution 26008, which is the, looking at all of our wells and doing even an alternative water source study in there, but it's just looking at all the engineering that's coming up on all of our wells. So we're looking for a motion for this approval.
So moved.
Darren?
Second.
JR? Any questions, thoughts, anything else out there? I think we all agree it's necessary. We have to look at all of our engineering, but then it's always wise to make sure we have alternatives if we ever need them. So, okay. So we're looking for a roll call on that, please.
You got it, King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Aye.
Liff,
Yes.
Galogly,
Yes.
Bergbauer is absent, Deskin.
Yes.
Bartleson,
Yes?
Cardamone.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we're looking for a motion to approve Resolution 26007, which is a roadway reconstruction and water main replacement to PT Farrow for $2,992,779.
So moved.
Darren?
Second.
JR? Any questions, thoughts? Then we'll do a roll call.
You got it, King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Aye.
Liff,
Yes.
Galogly,
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bartleson,
Yes.
Cardamone.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. And last, we're looking for a motion to approve Resolution 26013, which is the purchase of the 2025 Ford Explorer. Looking for that motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
JR, Suzie King. All right, and one more roll call, please.
You got it, King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Aye.
Liff,
Yes.
Galogly,
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bartleson,
Yes?
Cardamone.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Anybody have any new business? No? Good. Any open floor comments? Ron, and come to harass us? Okay. Yeah. All right, then if there's nothing else, we'll look for a motion to adjourn from city council.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
JR, seconded by Robin. All in favor?
Aye.
I don't. At your leisure there, Kathy. So what do you think, Ben? Next meeting, we'll be back at City Hall?
We hope so. February 18th is anticipated to be back at City Hall.
All right, man.
I'm not,
All right, I'm ready to go if you are.
Yeah, lay it on.
All right, roll call for Committee of the Whole. King,
Present.
Pugh,
Present.
Liff,
Here.
Galogly,
Here.
Bergbauer is absent, Deskin.
Here.
Bartleson,
Here?
Cardamone.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
All right, first thing on the agenda is looking to finalize and approve our City of Lockport strategic plan.
thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I've got Corey here with us again. The full packet strategic plan was in your agenda, and I know we're going to switch PowerPoints here for a little bit, but this will be our first full public view of the draft of our strategic plan for 2026 through 2029, which is a four-year review of our priorities and missions and things we're trying to accomplish for the next 4 years. The plan consisted of four main targets, having effective operations, targeted development, resilient infrastructure, and improved quality of life. Staff has been working with the mayor and council on this probably since September, October, and we're going to go through this a little bit tonight and see if there's any other feedback or anything else you'd like to see, and then we'll have it on to be adopted on February 18th. They're going to show you a pretty version here shortly. one of the reasons we're not back in council chambers is the technical side of it, the LCTV and the audiovisual isn't ready yet either, so we'd be streamed no matter what location.
Kathy'd have to film it with her cell phone.
You grab another thumb drive?
Yes, you're up there.
We've had 2 videos tonight, so there's a lot going on. It's a remote location.
I can't think I've ever done an electronic presentation and just walked up.
Just restarting again.
Ever.
Sync. I shall call him Big D. Big D from IT.
Thank you for your patience as I arm wrestle technology. Corey Porras-Plash back here again to talk to you about your strategic plan. There is a beautiful report that is in your, was in your packet, but just to go ahead and run through again, what I want to do is I just kind of hit the highlights. Again, this is vision and mission, which you have already seen, along with your values. And then we're going to get into the fun stuff, which is, first, yeah, we always have to talk about the definitions, outcomes, what does success look like. You will actually see the key outcome indicators in here, and remember that's just simply the unit of measurement that we're using. And then the target is how we're measuring progress towards our goals. And this is comes directly now from your report. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go through this relatively quickly, as it looked like you had a number of things on the agenda. However, I do want to, I'm here so that if you have any questions, any comments, any edits that you'd like, that's why I'm here. So please feel free to stop me as we go. With that being said, effective operations. Again, we've got the increased operational efficiency, something that's a little bit different than last time we were here. If you notice, we've got that KOI in italics at the bottom of the target. Again, that's just the way that we're measuring that. So that's all that is, because sometimes it's important to note that in this one, we are looking at dollars saved because we were looking at 2 core processes for efficiency or cost savings. So we just wanted to note that. So that's, if you see that, that's a little bit of a change, but that's all that means. And then initiatives, those are the plans, programs, strategies for how we're going to accomplish these things. So again, some more effective operations, technology improvements. Again, I'm going to go through pretty quickly, but please feel free to stop me. I am here to answer any questions that you may have. Still with effective operations, we're talking now about technology improvements that enhance the service experience. We're now on to targeted development, and we had numerous things underneath this, including filling development locations, expanding the downtown footprint. More on targeted development, including enhanced relationships with existing businesses, TIF direction determined, increased commercial development. I'm going to keep on going because I'm not seeing anybody flagging me down. Prioritize capital investments. And we are now into resilient infrastructure. So proactive right-of-way improvements, equipment maintenance. Yes, please.
Just a question.
Please.
I'll speak really loud. So in the process, one of the things that I was looking at was, I guess we call it effective tree overhang maintenance and creation of sidewalk connectivity in our side of the road. So I was wondering if that could be something that could be discussed and added. I mean, it's a pebble versus a rock, but something that could be added to the plan.
So when you say that, you mean work with tree trimming?
More unappropriated land, obstructed views, into intersections, like we just have some problems south of obstructed view, like on land that's not owned by the city.
Oh, I see. So what do you think? Is that something we just need to reach out to the township with to try to get those things cut, or can we?
Or is that part of the plan? Because I was thinking sidewalks too, it's all,
Yeah, we could reach out. I mean, it kind of could be code enforcement on some of them if it was property that might be incorporated. Like I know year one is Serenity Landing. Owns that one parcel. So it was like the corner of Serenity Landing. So that would be working with either the county or the actual property owners.
Okay,
So
so
the
like-
county to do that.
from an infrastructure perspective, is that something that would be part of a plan to look at that, or is that something separate?
It wouldn't be something that would be in our plan, but that would be something, I guess, I don't know where we would put it under code enforcement or.
Tree trimming is designed to reduce hazards.
But that's, he's talking about
Oh,
property outside the city. This is for city-owned stuff,
Correct.
not unincorporated.
So it's almost a bigger, maybe a bigger bubble would be, relations with, non-incorporated entities or something along those lines. Because I think that is part and parcel of some of the sidewalk issues too. So maybe it's just a little bit of a all-encompassing little bubble, something to look at to improve.
Yeah, and I think the sidewalk, we probably could do that because that's something that intergovernmental that we have to do, just kind of get the connectivity.
Yep.
So we're going to have gaps. Just so you know, we are working on hopefully a plan for 163rd Street. There's the gap across the Walgreens, it's not unincorporated. We're surveying that area, hopefully trying to get sidewalk all the way along 163rd. So we are trying to do that in-house and currently doing it. So the connectivity, when we get later down, that'll be part of it for that one.
Okay, that's fine, just to note that should be added to the plan.
So, Brian, in the past, we had a really good rapport with Will County, to code enforcer, and they actually did reach out to the homeowners if it was on a property that a homeowner owned and where it was obstructing, a view or sidewalk or whatever. So I'm hoping that we still have a good relationship with someone out there.
We do.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because
Lance.
they've been really good in working with us whenever we needed something.
Yeah,
like
Robert
that.
Shea from Lance's department, he has, actually, we've had him call Will County a couple times on different parcels and stuff that there are long grasses or other things that have been issues and stuff.
Okay, great, yeah, because I've used them in the past and asked for help, and they've really been very cooperative.
Yeah, they're very
Great,
helpful.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'm going to keep on going then, but good discussion. Enhanced water quality. Again, we're still under resilient infrastructure. Consolidate and improve sanitary sewer operations. Again, still under resilient infrastructure, that strategic goal. Any of those initiatives, that's in those plans, programs, strategies to be able to achieve our strategic goals. Adaptive stormwater management, still under resilient infrastructure. And service efficiency and delivery enhanced through functional municipal public safety facilities. And we'll see, I think this may be our last one here. It is. And now we've moved on to improve quality of life. improve the environment of Lockport, and this had to do with some underground storage tanks and some other things there. Increase the pedestrian network connectivity. Elevate public engagement and transparency, again, under that improved quality of life goal. And as you can see, we have multiple targets under this one. Public safety reimagined. And that was our final review of the goals. Any questions, any comments, any edits?
Well, thanks, Corey, for getting everything organized into an easy document.
Absolutely. So within the report itself, as you notice, there's just a little bit more detail about things like the survey that we did and some of the other things to give some context, because it's important with strategic planning to kind of tell the story of the journey that we've been on together. So that is all within that document itself. Next steps, any edits should be noted, forwarded to me. We'll go ahead and get that updated. And as I mentioned when I started, and will remain true, I'm available for questions because I am probably the only person in this room who talks about strategic planning more than 40 hours a week. So I do hope that you continue to use me as a resource.
Yeah, thank you for all your help on this. I suggest we just put it on as an action item. That way it gives everybody an opportunity to kind of go through this a little slower, and if there's any feedback from the community, and yeah, we'll put it on for an action item. And again, thank you for helping take us through that journey.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Does anybody, anything else? CA2, looking at Resolution 26018 for the real estate purchase of the old Delwood Tire. What do you got, Ben?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. CA2 is a resolution 26018 approving a real estate purchase agreement for the transfer of property at the 711 South State Street, also known as the Delwood Tire location in downtown Lockport. This would be an agreement with the Four Real Estate Holdings LLC. This action would be on as an item for February 18th. Dan, the developer, couldn't be here. His wife is expecting a child here today, and so he's not going to be here.
He said that if he didn't text me, he was likely at the hospital.
Yeah, so
I did not get a text.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a little tied up, but we have had numerous meetings and conversations with Lance, the mayor, and I. Obviously, with the council, we've had some conversations in exec session about this particular transaction. We are familiar with Dan and the Four Investments as they did the 923 South State in recent days. He gave me a statement in case he wasn't here. I won't read it verbatim, but as I mentioned, Dan Klister is the owner of Four Development. Last year, they had the successful project for the port, which is a mixed-use apartment project. He's going to be proposing a 36,000 square foot, 3-story mixed-use apartment building with 31 apartments and 45,000 square feet of commercial retail space with 39 parking spaces with a cost estimate of about $9.8 million. Oh, great, here's a little tease-in of what we're talking about. This is probably by far one of the largest potential new investments in our downtown and city in recent years. Tremendous success in cooperation with the city staff and the building inspectors and everything that he did with his first project here with the city. I think when you look at something like this in a dilapidated site like the old Delwood Tire, nothing happens here without the city investment to help underwrite some of the cost. It's going to be a significant taxable revenue for us in the future. It's going to have a great economic impact about bringing residents and more commercial in our downtown, and hopefully make our downtown even more visited with residents and visitors alike. So we're looking forward to moving on with this. He will be here at the next meeting, I'm assuming, if there's any other questions or concerns. I know we've got some imagery to show you. Maybe the next slide, Lance. There you go. So obviously, this is the development portion where we're looking for the transaction and the incentives and the property conveyance. These are imagery that still has to come back through the city council and the full process with the H&A, planning and zoning, and city council. So the approval of these agreements are only ensuring the incentives if the rest of it is approved. But it's a very nice looking building. Obviously, it would be potentially tweaked by the other governing bodies. Let's look at the next slide. There you go. This one in particular would have brick on multiple sides because it's one of our main entry points into the city as you come down from the north. So we needed to make sure that it's going to have a bigger impact. But again, a very nice building and a great new investment. There's the view from the back and the parking lot that would support the development itself. And this is a nice proximity to the public landing restaurant. Residents and visitors can walk to these areas, and there's an overall sky plan. So a lot of information in your packet. If you have any questions specifically about anything in particular, this is an ask with this approval of the resolution 26018. Basically allows us to provide $2,750,000 in the amount of $275,000 each year for 10 years as part of this almost $10 million project. And it's a great opportunity for us to have something actually happen here on this site. The plat was in there, the site plan, purchase sales contract. I think this vision meets a lot of what we're looking for. Lance, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I guess what I would say is this is planned to be on H&A's February agenda. They'll be reviewing the exterior of the building just like they would for anything downtown. Their approval is really the approval for the exterior. So once it gets to Plan and Zoning Commission, they'll review the site plan components of it, make a recommendation for the special use permit that's required for the plan development. And then that will come to City Council then for the same review and approval.
Yeah, very exciting, man. Bringing some new life on the other side of 9th Street would really, kind of change the dynamic over there. So we're all glad they had great success with their other building.
Yeah, for us, this is an excellent first start to the greater downtown master plan. So as all of you know, we've been working on that master plan now for about 6 months. We've still got about 6 months left on it. But having this project coming out of the ground is one of the first steps in kind of stretching north from 9th Street is a really important marker to show the value of Lockport, the potential change that can occur in the greater downtown north of 9th Street, and then very similarly south of 11th Street, roughly our National Historic District as well. So this is we always want master plans to have that great first project come out of the ground right after the master plan, because it's like, great, we did the master plan, we proved the value, we can show progress, and it helps to jumpstart the rest of the recommendations that come down after that. And so this is a good linchpin for that north section.
No, all very good. Any questions, you guys? Thoughts? Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
I just had a quick question. It looks really nice. How many apartments are there?
31.
31. And then the parking in the back, will that be just for the residents? Or is that for retail too, or is there some
So
other?
primarily it will be for the residents. There is a section along, you can kind of see it on the plan up there, where 7th Street is. Currently, we have all those stub streets that are on the west side of State Street. There would be parking as a part of that. That's still a discussion with the developer about how we want to pull that off. We're also looking to see where we can expand parking elsewhere to provide some additional public parking. This is one of the challenges of the greater downtown. We don't have on-street parking in these locations. We certainly want to recommend that as a part of our greater downtown master plan so that we can put pressure on IDOT to be able to allow for that to occur, because they are important elements of attracting customers, to be able to see that there's parking directly outside the front doors. That's all beneficial to attracting retailers and folks that want to be in those spaces as well. But we are very cognizant of the retail need or the commercial need for parking in that area. It's just going to be a matter of how do we leverage some of the spaces, whether it's the 8th Street lot during the day that's relatively unused, but during the evening gets used for the public landing. There's all kinds of ways that you can do shared parking. Across the street is the Dunkin' Donuts lot that's really empty anytime from noon on. So, you know, we've been talking with a developer about ways that we can create some shared parking scenarios. The library lot is obviously relatively close. So, you know, it's a struggle, it's a challenge when we don't have on-street parking, but he feels comfortable that he can service both the apartments as well as the retail, at least to start with what he has, and then as we expand that, it'll only help.
Now, when you mentioned on-street parking, is it in this spot? This seems more like an IDOT issue,
It is.
not an ours.
It's 100% IDOT.
And IDOT's just like, I know you have on-street parking elsewhere, but we've drawn the line. Is that
Correct.
kind of how they're approaching it?
Yes. That's why it's important to adopt these things as a part of policy documents in the master plan, because it puts the political weight behind that recommendation.
Yeah.
And then we need to work with our state legislators to help to push some of those decisions down the road. If we can show progress like this,
Yeah.
that is conducive to on-street parking type environments, that only helps to build the case with IDOT to be able to allow for it.
All right, well, let's,
The other thing we're doing with parking too is later in this agenda, we're talking about adding another city parking lot, you know, not close to this building, but to the south. I would be seeking to emulate something like that to the north, if we can find the right kind of area and situation to do that. So the city is always able to add more parking in the downtown where it makes sense to help support these kind of projects.
Well, can I ask a question? Looks great. I mean, it's the only concern that I have is it seems like the one struggle down there is always making it a little bit more pedestrian friendly. Is there like, you know, any ways, any plans, anything we can do to make it more conducive to, you know, if you park and walk versus, you know, the current situation, which can be a little bit difficult?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there is already the push button flashers. Whether or not people believe that it works or not, that's what we have, and that's what is regulatorily allowed in that area. The area in front of the building, it's obviously public parkway. And so whether or not the city wants to extend the streetscape from basically the Canal Commissioner's building north past the 8th Street lot and in front of this building, there may be some cost sharing that we could do with the developer for this, and to see if they would be willing to extend it, because it makes it a more attractive, pedestrian-friendly environment. So those are questions that can certainly come up at a future thing, but it's really a public project as opposed to a private one, although there may be some construction sharing that could help there.
well, I think that's a great point. I think having that conversation about extending that really makes sense. I mean, if we're going to create this synergy. So if we adopted in our greater downtown master plan, just to, you know, kind of confirm that on-street parking along State, I mean, you would think the precedent of it is enough, but, you know, the timing of that, and perhaps us on a lobby day, kind of trying to press this so that on-street parking, I mean, I get it's only probably about 7 spots, but still, it again, it extends the feeling of our town further, that I think that's worth lobbying for. And
Yes.
So
I would 100% concur.
Okay.
And the good news, just like we, in all of the State Street corridors, we have 100 feet of right-of-way. And so there is significant amount of parkway space that is currently grass that could be converted to parking relatively easily and still retain streetscape space to be able to install the stuff that we have in the other parts of downtown.
Okay. Well, then I guess, but as far as this goes, we're just talking about the incentive plan. So if we're good with that, is there any concerns? Is it consent? Are we okay with that? All right, so we'll put it on for consent, and wish Dan and his wife well tonight, man. It's exciting.
Anyone wants to come back, he can spend time with his baby.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, next, CD1, ordinance 26002, special use permit for a unique use to allow for columbarium. This is going to get, this got pulled, yes?
Yes,
Doing this?
so this case was withdrawn after it was heard at Plan and Zoning Commission. There were a lot of questions that came up related to state regulations.
Okay.
And one of the main driving forces why the church decided to withdraw this is because the state requires that any place that has human remains be on a property that is zoned for a cemetery. And the church did not have an interest in subdividing a portion of their property to create a cemetery. Future land values, saleability, the only place that it could go would be along 7th Street because we only allow cemeteries in the R1 district. That was too far away from the church for vandalism and other concerns that came up there. So they have asked to withdraw this proposal.
Okay, very good. Withdraw. Miss the old days when you could bury people in the church floor. Okay. CD2, what do you got here, Lance?
Thank you, Mayor. This is related to ordinance 26004. Continental Properties has submitted an application to allow for a major change to a plan development. The request involves modifications to the multi-tenant monument sign serving the Springs at Lockport community and the future subdivision lot. On your screen, you'll obviously, I think everybody knows where the Springs is. It's the orange box. And just as a reminder, the Springs was not only the apartments, it also included the front commercial lots as a part of its original approval. And so that's why we always refer to this as the Springs, because it is really a holistic development. The details are basically, this was approved as a part of a plan development. The initial sign package was approved as a part of that plan development. The proposed change to the sign and why it creates a major change is because they want to increase the base size. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear that there is a shift from the left, which is the yellow box on your screen, to the purple, which is to the east, which is the purple box on your screen. That's where they are looking to propose it. They're trying to get it as far up the hill as they can. As many of you have seen out there, the grading is pretty significant, multiple tiers of space, and we're even working with IDOT on some additional modifications within the right-of-way as a part of their project next year. On your screen here is really the change. The actual sign does not change in size. So where it says Springs, where it has the 3 tenant spaces, that is staying exactly the same. But in order to get it up in the air to overcome the topography challenges, they're asking to increase the base height, the stone base height, by 4 feet. As a part of our code, we define both major changes and minor changes as a part of a plan development. Major changes are if you're looking to increase the density of a development, if you increase the height of a building more than 10% of what was originally approved. With this, if you increase the height of a sign more than 10%, then that triggers a major change and needs to be approved by the City Council, which is why we're here tonight. So our request is to place Resolution 26004 on the 218 agenda for either action or consent. Be happy to take any questions. Our applicants are in the audience as well, if you have any questions for them.
All right, any thoughts, questions, concerns about it? I think where it's going to be and how it's going to lay out, it's really an issue myself. So. All right, we good with the consent agenda then? Okay. Thank you much. And then CD3.
CD3 is related to ordinance 26-005. This is our fun annual zoning map approval. What we have to do every year is send our zoning map or updated zoning map to Will County. They use it to update their Will County GIS. What we are identifying on this new map is any properties that were annexed, any properties that were rezoned, and any properties that had a special use permit. It's impossible to see on your screen, but the new zoning map is there. In your packet, there was a list of the changes that occurred on this zoning map from cases that were heard in 2025. Be happy to take any questions, but the request is to put ordinance 2605 on for action or consent.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like it on action, because I just had one other thing I wanted to make sure I was up to speed on, so we'll just do action, if you guys are okay with that. Thank you. Was there any questions? Okay. All right, the next is Resolution 26001, releasing a bond.
As we have had nearly every meeting for the past, 3 months or so, we have another release of a bond. We've got a lot of construction that's wrapping up, and things are moving into the maintenance phase. This one is specifically for the Wendy's. Whoever went to the grand opening or any of the friends and family events that they had out there, you can see that the site is substantially complete, and we have inspected and reviewed all the improvements. They had originally established an LLC for $301,660.17. The bond release is contingent on the 10% maintenance bond being posted, which we have received. And so our request is to place resolution 26011 on consent or action at the next meeting.
All right, everybody good with action on this one? Or rather, consent rather, thank you. Consent it is. All right, Brian, you're up.
All right, I have, can you go to the next slide, please? All right, so this is the parking lot that the city recently purchased, that rear portion that's at the northeast corner of Commerce Street and 11th Street. The city approached V3 to provide this concept plan and then further all to finish the design engineering of the parking lot. The parking lot will also include some streetscape elements and the new sidewalk that's in blue along 11th Street. So pedestrians would be able to get from the parking lot and up to actual State Street and stuff. The blue to the west of there is still another project. We're working with the railway and IDOT to go ahead and make a safe crossing that will allow pedestrians to cross there. But we're kind of spearheading. We came up with an idea to get some more parking that we're obviously lacking in our downtown. And this gives about 12 spots for us to compass. So small, but still something that allows some people to be able to park there. So what I'm asking for is the approval of placing resolution number 26-014 to accept the proposal for design engineering from V3 companies to not exceed the fee of $73,500 on the next city council consent agenda. We also, just to mention, is we did budget it, $75,000 was budgeted for the amount, so it did come in under budget, and we do have in the tower fund $500,000 for construction.
Okay, so there's no pedestrian crossing there now? Just for whatever reason,
Yeah.
There's the street.
Actually, the street
is there, yeah.
The street roadway, so that blue
Yeah.
sidewalk does not exist.
Yeah, okay.
We've got a grant from ICC and partnering with the CN to make those improvements to the roadway and the turn to the Environetics Business Park, but also it supports the public parking lot that's back there that people, sometimes employees from the downtown can park. And we got them to agree to include a pedestrian walkway to go through there. There is a tiny old dilapidated sidewalk in amongst the evergreen trees,
Yeah.
but it's really not navigable. It's not usable.
So as we slowly creep along to a quiet zone on the BNSF or the Canadian National, this would require gates and everything to actually.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns? I thought you raised your hand, Kathy. I was like, oh, Kathy had a question. All right. We're good with consent then? Thanks. All right, PW2.
This one is for, basically, the city engaged V3 companies again to provide professional services to oversee and implement the recommended maintenance and infrastructure improvements across 6 ponds within Karen Springs community. These improvements will be designed to enhance the stormwater system, functionality, and strengthen your overall flood control in this area. The scope of work will include steel plate replacement in an outlet structure, clearing the existing storm sewers to restore the proper flow, repairing and restoring the flared end sections, and installing riprap to reduce the erosion and stabilize the discharges into the ponds, and clearing the vegetation around one of the overland flows that will from obstructions from actually operating correctly. These efforts will focus solely on the infrastructure-related enhancements and do not include bank vegetation management, algae control, or any other routine maintenance activities that remain the responsibility of the homeowners association. The city has allocated $330,000 in the capital fund to support this project. So I'm asking for recommendation or recommending to approve placing resolution number 26-016, accept the proposal for Karen Springs Stormwater Management Facility rehabilitation from V3 companies for a total not to exceed fee of $308,000 on the next council agenda.
All right. And I know we've discussed this a little bit, but I want to emphasize that, you guys mentioned that maintenance will be done by the homeowners association, and that we feel confident that the plan is a plan that won't just fade away and be forgotten. I know HOAs are difficult, right? A lot of times they just kind of dissolve, but I'd like to know that, somebody's calendar is going off once a year on staff so that we can go over to the HOAs and kind of.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is part of this, we're going to reach out to each HOA, have them sign an agreement, and after we do these improvements for an HOA, they need to submit a report to our CED department, and basically that'll be reviewed by the engineers and staff, and then basically just to make sure the ponds and what the improvements are still lasting. So if they have smaller routine maintenance, they can do that and keep up with it, and versus making it a huge capital project like they've kind of grown and stuff. So we're going to stay on top of them a little bit more and just make sure and help them out to make sure they're maintaining the stuff. When, cleaning a little bit of pipe is a lot easier than taking out 12 inches of silt.
Sure. Yeah, giving guidance and help on these things from the city is perfectly fine.
We've had this conversation over the last couple of years, and we had started some of these projects getting contributions from the HOA, but really the consensus was as long as they're going to put the money into maintaining the vegetation, that's a better use of their money. We can handle the capital to make sure that that they're functioning properly, and so it was a good trade-off and a partnership, and then getting the HOAs to sign off on agreements should be good.
No, it's
So
a good partnership.
I just had one question. So I know you're going to be talking to the HOAs, but will someone actually physically go out to the ponds like annually to make sure that it is truly being maintained?
Yeah, so they're going to have to submit a report, and then Lance's department, they will go out and just do spot inspections to make sure that the ponds are getting done. So it'll be each one as we improve. It'll take a few years to get through them all. But as each HOA gets done, like this one has 4 HOAs itself within it. So each one will be required to submit a report to it. Otherwise, yeah, we'll end up having to call them and try to track them down and stuff. So.
Are we good with consent on this? Action, okay. Action it is. And then lastly, we got PD1. What do you got, Chief?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. This is resolution authorizing a professional services agreement with Canine Guardians. We've been using Canine Guardians here in the city going back to 2011. We had a contract with Canine Guardians from November of 2017 through to December 31st of 2023. Canine Guardians takes care of all of our animal calls, stray animals, dogs and cats, not any other type of animal. But we have more than 400 calls for service for those animals throughout the year. The contract expired, as I stated, December 31st, 2023. However, we have continued at that same price of $2,500 per month for those services. This would be an agreement starting now going for 3 years at that continued amount with no increase. Canine Guardians did a wonderful job for us. They do conform to the Illinois Department of Agriculture's guidelines for stray animals and animal transportation. And any animal that is not returned to a family or owner is transferred to the TLC Animal Shelter in Homer Glen. So we'll be asking for action or consent to authorize this agreement.
All right, everybody good with consent on this? All right. Very good, everyone. Lots of good stuff tonight. So, all right, if there's nothing else, we're looking for a motion to adjourn. Joanne? Second. Seconded by Big Steve. All in favor? Aye. All right.